Buongiorno, guten morgen, ohayo gozaimasu, good morning. Honestly, it's fun to say that because those are all of the places we lived and they all sound so different. But either way, I'm so happy you're here. I've got something a little different to share with you today. It's something that we've been thinking quite some time about, and we're just excited to share that we are starting a podcast. If you've been with us for a while, you might have noticed that over time, our content has shifted slightly. I wouldn't say a lot, but over time we've tried to be more aware and conscious about how we're sharing our kids online. Our kids are getting older, life is getting busier, and we want to be able to slow down a little bit. We definitely still plan to capture our travel moments and our big memories for our family. However, we don't want to have the pressure to feel like we have to film a lot of the outings we go on. Now, don't get me wrong, we definitely haven't filmed every outing we go on. There's a lot of our lives that is undocumented. But this change will allow us to slow down a little bit more while simultaneously allowing us to tell more of our story, both as travelers and as a couple figuring out life abroad. So here's the plan. Every other week, we're going to be releasing a podcast episode. It'll be just the two of us, Tanner and I, sitting on the couch, relaxed, casual, having a great conversation. The idea is for you to feel like you're sitting really close next to us and listening in on that conversation and having a great time. And we'll be diving into things that we don't always share on YouTube. The behind the scenes of our life abroad and honestly our YouTube channel, the messy middle of parenting, and honestly some really personal parts of our journey that have shaped us to who we are today. Now, let me clarify, we are not leaving YouTube. Our channel will still be the place to go to for travel inspiration, foodie experiences, cultural differences, language immersion, etc. All of the things that you've loved watching, we're still going to be sharing. The podcast just allows us to go deeper. Think of it like the stories behind the stories you see on YouTube. The layout is just going to look a little different. So we'll have one YouTube video just very similar to our regular content, and then a podcast episode. Then back to the typical YouTube video, and then a podcast episode. You get the gist. We can't wait for you to watch and listen into our first episode. It's titled How Moving Abroad Changed Everything. Literally, that title couldn't be more true, and we're going to be explaining why. So just as you're watching this video now, come hop onto YouTube next week and you can watch us as we dive into this first episode. It's also going to be available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you have not subscribed already, right now is your time. Click the subscribe button. And of course, it means a lot if you also hit that like button. It helps us with the algorithm where hopefully our story can be shared with more individuals interested. This is just the beginning, and we're really looking forward to sharing this next chapter with you guys. We hope as you listen to our podcast episodes that it can resonate with you and you can feel like your story matters too. That's our hope with it. So right now, Tanner's going to take it away because, of course, we're in Italy and we've been traveling and we want to take you with us because, you guys, we've been seeing some amazing things. And we want you guys to join us in the fun.
When the lightning and the flood comes, do we sink or swim? The only way to live is to fight for it again. Tell me, will you lie there? Will you find wings? Will you get back up and see it to the end? Do you hear it in the wind? Well, it's time for flying, and there's no more trying. Yes, perfect timing for us. We're gonna go higher, higher. We'll rise up now, we're taking it higher, higher. Where the sunlight is the only thing around. Higher.
If you can't tell already with our announcement about the podcast, we're really excited to be able to share so many new insights with you guys, go in depth, and like Risa said, really try to make it feel like you can relate in one way or another. And maybe it's because you can't relate at all, and that's why you're watching as well. And we love that. We love that people can come from different backgrounds and still be able to come into a place and get different perspective and then leave thinking maybe in a different way. Because let's be honest, that's really how we have changed so much over the last 4.5 years of living abroad. Now that we made our announcement about the podcast, I wanted to take and talk about 5 things that we've really enjoyed while living here in Italy. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch this video, which is our 6-month recap of living here in Italy. We give some more in-depth discussion about like the pros and cons. And then also we talked about our like experience with school recently. And those 2 videos talk about some aspects that I won't go into in this video. Number 1 at the top of that list is going to be the food. Now, we've talked a lot about the food here in Italy. We've given you food videos when we were first here, really diving in. But food honestly stays at top of the list for us because there's just so much depth, history, and culture that goes into what a country eats. And even going to a supermarket, going to a local festival like we did just today, you get to have some more insight about what locals like to eat and what traditions have been passed on through food. When it comes to Italian food, most people just think about pasta, pizza, and gelato, but there's so much more depth to that, and we're really excited to be able to dive more into those different categories. When I typically think about an American, and when I see American-themed restaurants like anywhere overseas, it's definitely catered more towards that like hamburger and french fries kind of mentality. And I know there are definitely like sandwich shops, there's salad bars, there's lots of different subcategories within there. And so on the flip side, when we were in America, we would go to an Italian restaurant like Olive Garden, and I know so many people are going to comment below and say Olive Garden is not Italian. It was just what was Italian for me growing up in Utah, where there is not a whole lot of options. Maybe there are now, maybe there's better places in Salt Lake with better Italian food, but it was like Olive Garden was like, I want Italian, you know, have soft breadsticks, unlimited soup for like $8 or something. And that was what I grew up with Italian. So you can only imagine the first time that we came to Italy, we were so blown away by how many different subcategories of like Italian cuisine there were. And it's become more apparent since we've lived here that there are trattorias or fattorias or osteria. There are probably like 10 others that I'm missing, I'm sure, and those are the first ones that I can think of. In reality, you have this one little restaurant that's run by a family and a few close friends and community, and it's just really awesome because you can go there, you have their specialties, you can't get them anywhere else, and there's just like a lot of soul and a lot of community that goes into these restaurants. Now, I know for sure there are tons of places in the US that have the same thing, but I'm just saying it's really fun to be able to see the flip side where I had this one image of Italian food in the States and then another one coming here in Italy. Number 2 has to be the community, and we touch on this a little bit in our video about the school, but honestly we felt really welcomed in this area, getting to know more of the parents and the kids that Willa is playing with and going to school with, and then I know that's going to now happen that Noah's starting as well. So we really love that there is a sense of community. People are willing to go out of their way to try and invite us to like activities, to birthday parties. Willa just got another invite for a birthday party, and it's going to be really fun to see how those relationships progress. And with that, I think it's worth noting that the stereotype that Italians love kids is not understated by any means. In fact, we've really felt that there's this great like sense of extra effort to try and make the kids feel comfortable in these situations. And it's really touching. And as a parent, I love that even the other parents and the kids are willing to go out of their way to try and make our family feel welcome here. Number 3 is the location of where we live. Italy in general is a really awesome country because it has mountains, it has sea, it has a little bit of everything, and because it's a peninsula, there's so much coast that you can explore. As you've noticed, many of the last videos have been focused on the mountains and really us trying to go camping, get connected with nature before fall and winter come, and honestly, we have loved that. It's been amazing going out on hikes, spending time with friends, and just really reconnecting with nature. Additionally, we are only a short few hours from beautiful places like Bologna, Florence. Rome is only like 5.5 hours, which for us coming from Utah, that's like the top to the bottom of the state. There are so many more places here in Italy that we're excited to explore, but I think we've done a pretty good job so far in the first 9 months living here, having visited many places in Puglia and Rome, getting closer over to Cinque Terre. We didn't do that quite. Of course, we've touched practically every province in the northern part of Italy at this point, and there's so much more to come. If you have a place in Italy that you would recommend we go and visit, please write it in the description below. We love hearing all the recommendations. Thank you so much for everyone who has recommended places to go and visit. We've had several people say Umbria recently, but we would also like to know if there are other lesser known places to visit, because for us, even though we're going to also visit some of the most popular tourist attractions, we want to see those little in-between places that get overseen. We've heard multiple times from locals and from people on social media that only 1% of Italy is visited by tourists every year. So that leaves 99% of some incredible country, some incredible history, culture, food to be able to explore and experience. So we would love to hear from you guys if you live here in Italy or you have traveled here, to let us know some of your favorite places that are lesser known. I also wanted to update you guys on the video that we did a few weeks ago, our 6 months living in Italy, some perspectives that we shared and some concerns that we shared as well, and specifically talking about the water quality in Vicenza. Now, many people have said it's perfectly safe, like there's no really big issue, but we've had a few people like personally email us and message us on Instagram and other places saying it's probably worth looking into. So we decided to get the Waterdrop A2 reverse osmosis filtration system. Because of the way our kitchen sink is configured, there wasn't enough space for one of them under the sink. So we got this one that sits on the counter. Our filtration system provides 5 layers of filtration, which gives us added extra benefit. Another thing that I love is that the filters are extremely easy to change in and out. They're good for a year. It's extremely easy to use. You just fill water into the back of the tank. It fills it up into a pitcher that you can take to the table or keep there. And it has a dispensing system where you can choose the temperature you desire. So because so many of you had commented about the water, I wanted to share that update with you. And for those of you who do live in the Vicenza region, I think it's worthwhile to take a look into one of these systems because rather than relying on bottled water from on base or from other places, I think it's going to be better, 1, economically, and 2, you're not going to have the hassle of going and getting water all the time. But that's just my experience. You go ahead and do the math, see if it's worth the upfront cost for you. For me, the peace of mind, the convenience, and just having it right there is worth it. So with that, I'm going to leave a link down in the description below. Go ahead and check out all the water filtration systems from Waterdrop and see if there's one that fits your needs. Number 4 has to be the language. I love learning and speaking Italian, and I think it's more fulfilling than I thought it would be, having lived in Germany and Japan. Now coming here. If you're just joining us or didn't know before, I learned Spanish when I was 18 through 20 when I served a Mormon mission in El Salvador and Belize, and it was a great opportunity for me to live there. Had an amazing time learning the different cultures and experiences, and of course the language down there. So learning Italian has honestly come as much easier of a task than learning German and trying to learn Japanese. So naturally it's going to be a little more enjoyable since I've been able to pick on it quite well. But honestly, as a family, it's been amazing to try and learn together and seeing how like all of our brains together are clicking, trying to learn. And just today as we were going shopping, we all tried to speak Italian with each other when we were outside of the home. So honestly, I'm hoping that this becomes more of like a common ritual for us. Outside of the house, we speak only in Italian as best as we can, and then inside the home, we continue with English as well. Number 5, this is the final one, is appearance. Now, I say appearance, and it's not fully just based off of how people dress, but it's also about how they act, more about like their volume, it's about their personalities, and so I'm going to break this one up a little bit. Number 1 has to be with like just the way Italians dress. I think here, maybe it's just because it's the new community that we're in, it does seem like there is a perfect blend where you have people who will just go out in whatever they're wearing, sandals, shorts, just a t-shirt, very simple to go out and go shopping. And then you have others who they look like they spent a good deal of time getting ready. And neither option is wrong, but I think overall it's just fun to see like the different personalities and the different clothing styles and hairstyles and just like the way that people like to dress and appear. And then the second part is just how much Italians move their hands and their expressions when they're speaking. It's really fun to see how much communication goes on through their hands, through their body language, and I think that that's been really fun. And honestly, I'm trying to use a little bit more of my hand movements and my body language to communicate as well, while trying to keep it reeled in because I don't want to be this all the time. Honestly, seeing how different people gesture has been really awesome because you just get to see another level of a culture, another level of a language, if you wouldn't even call it another language itself. And that's just been another way we've been able to grow, learn, and in some ways adapt to our new environment that we're in. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining. That has been 5 of the things that we've enjoyed here in Italy. A little bit different than some of the other topics that we've talked about. So we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please go ahead and hit like, share with your friends and family. We hope you guys will join us on our podcasting weeks and continue to comment. Let us know some of your thoughts and feelings. And most importantly, please let us know what topics that you would like us to cover and what questions that you have, whether it's about our background, whether it's about a previous video topic that we did. We love hearing the feedback, and it's going to be beneficial for us to adapt some of our content to you. Of course, we're still going to stay true to what we want to talk about, but we'd love to hear some of your insights and questions. With that, have an amazing week, and we'll see you guys on the next video.